Evil does not always come as a roaring lion. Sometimes it slithers like a serpent, waiting, calculating, and manipulating its prey into destruction without ever laying a hand on them. A narcissist is one such force, dark, insidious, and relentless. That narcissist wants you dead, yet you may not even realize it. They don't want to do it in an obvious way, not with their hands, not with direct threats, but through a slow, insidious, calculated process. Their goal is not just to control you, but to erase you, piece by piece, thought by thought, until there is nothing left. A narcissist doesn't just want power over you. They want to diminish you, to deplete you, to make you disappear from existence. But here's the worst part. They do it so covertly that no one else sees what's happening. To the outside world, they are charming, accomplished, and respected, while you appear as someone who is simply falling apart. That is their game. Strategic destruction without evidence. Psychological murder without a trace. This message is not to terrify you, but to alert you. If you have ever felt like you are losing yourself, if you have ever looked in the mirror and no longer recognized the person staring back, this is your wake-up call. You need to understand what is happening before it's too late. Today, we are exposing 5 secret signs that a narcissist wants you gone, not just out of their life, but out of this world. These signs are subtle, yet devastating. Recognizing them could save your life. 1. They stare at you with murderous intent. There is something unnatural about the way a narcissist looks at you. It is not a glance of frustration, nor is it the sharp gaze of someone merely angry or annoyed. No, this is something far more sinister. This is the kind of stare that strips you of your humanity. A cold, predatory gaze that sends chills down your spine. It is a look that tells you without words that they no longer see you as a person. You are not a partner, a family member, or a friend to them anymore. You are an object. Something to be discarded, something whose existence no longer serves a purpose. And that realization is terrifying. At first, you may dismiss it. You may convince yourself that you imagined it, that maybe they were just upset in the moment, that you misread the expression in their eyes. But deep down, you felt it. That primal, gut-wrenching sensation warning you that something was terribly wrong. It was not just a glare. It was emptiness, absence, a void where there should have been emotion. The eyes that once held warmth, whether real or fabricated, are now dark, soulless, almost lifeless. It is a transformation you cannot unsee. The person before you is not simply angry. They are looking at you the way a predator looks at its prey. This is not just an isolated moment of contempt. The narcissist's stare is calculated, intentional, a glimpse into the true nature they have hidden beneath the mask. When they no longer have use for you, when you have outlived your purpose in their mind, that is when this gaze appears. It is their way of erasing you before they actually erase you, making you feel so insignificant, so powerless, so completely worthless that you begin to disappear in your own mind long before they discard you. The Bible warns us of such darkness. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. John 10:10. A narcissist, whether they recognize it or not, is an instrument of this destruction. Their presence in your life is not just damaging, it is erasing you, little by little, until there is nothing left. And when you see that stare, when you feel the weight of their cold gaze suffocating the air around you, that is your warning sign. Because in that moment they have already begun the process of eliminating you, not physically, but psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. And yet, the world will never see it. To others they will appear normal, even kind. They will laugh, charm, engage with others as if nothing is wrong, while you sit in silence, haunted by what you just witnessed. And that is what makes it even worse. No one else will ever believe you. If you tell someone, they will say you are being paranoid. They will say you are reading too much into things. They will dismiss you just as the narcissist intends. because what you saw was not meant for anyone else. It was meant for you alone. It was a private, deliberate message. I do not care if you exist anymore. The narcissist does not need to say the words. Their eyes tell you everything. They do not need to raise a hand against you because they are dismantling you from the inside. The more you see that look, the more you break. The more you break, the more they enjoy watching it happen. The weaker you become, the stronger they feel. And when you finally reach the point where you have nothing left, no fight, no confidence, no sense of self, you will realize that they never needed to harm you physically, because they have already killed you in every other way that matters. This is not love. This is not normal anger. This is premeditated destruction. And if you have seen this look, if you have felt that sickening emptiness staring back at you, then you are in danger. Because once someone stops seeing you as a human being, once someone erases your worth in their own mind, there is nothing stopping them from finishing what they started. And the most terrifying part? By the time you realize what has happened, they have already erased you in ways you never thought possible. 2. They isolate you, but they do it fiercely. A narcissist understands one fundamental truth about control. Isolation is power. They know that as long as you have people in your life who love you, support you, and remind you of who you are, you will never be fully under their command. So, they begin the slow, methodical process of cutting you off, not with force, not with open demands, but with subtle whispers, carefully placed doubts, and manipulations so gradual that you do not even realize it is happening. At first, it seems harmless. They make observations, not commands. Did you notice how your friend never really supports you? Your family only calls when they need something. People don't really appreciate you the way I do. These statements seem innocent, even protective. You start paying attention. Maybe they have a point. Maybe you do reach out more than others. Maybe your loved ones don't understand you as well as this person does. The seed of doubt is planted. Little by little, the narcissist makes themselves your sole source of validation, your only voice of reason. Without ever telling you to stop talking to your friends and family, they create an environment where you do it on your own. You start pulling away, not because you want to, but because something deep inside you whispers, they don't care. No one really cares. And once you have withdrawn, once you are completely alone, that's when their voice takes over entirely. Now, their words are the only ones in your head. There is no one left to counter them, no one to remind you of the truth. When they belittle you, there is no friend to tell you that you deserve better. When they twist reality, there is no family member to say, that's not what happened. You are trapped in their version of the world, a world where you are the problem, where you are worthless, where no one else would ever love you, and the longer you stay in that world, the harder it is to escape. Even if you try to reconnect, the damage has already been done. People you once relied on don't understand why you pulled away. They may even be hurt by your absence, unsure if they can trust you again, and the narcissist will use that against you, reinforcing the lie that you have nowhere else to go. They will say, see, I told you they didn't really care. If they did, they wouldn't have given up on you. And just like that, you sink deeper into the loneliness they created. This is not just emotional manipulation, it is spiritual warfare. The Bible warns us that a man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. Proverbs 18 verse 1. The enemy wants you alone, because when you are alone, you are vulnerable. That is why the narcissist isolates you, so that when they tear you down, there is no one left to help you rebuild. And that loneliness they create, it is more than just being alone. It is a suffocating silence, a heaviness that presses on your chest and makes you wonder if your existence even matters. And that is exactly what they want. When you are cut off from love, from support, from truth, the darkness settles in. You begin to believe the lie that you are unwanted, that you are a burden, that there is no point in continuing. And when you reach that place, the narcissist knows they have won. If you are reading this and recognizing the pattern, do not let them win. You are not alone. You are not unloved. You are not beyond saving. The isolation they created is a lie. God has placed people in your life who love you, who want to help you, but you must take the first step. You must reach out before it's too late. Comment below with, "I will not be isolated," if you are ready to break free. 3. They destroy all the avenues of your sustenance. A narcissist does not just want to hurt you. They want to strip you of everything that allows you to exist independently. They do not merely wish for you to struggle. They want you to fall apart so completely that you can no longer stand on your own. But they will never do it in an obvious way. That would be too easy to detect. Instead, they orchestrate your downfall in a slow, insidious, and calculated manner, ensuring that when you finally collapse, it looks like it was your own doing. At first, you might not even notice it happening. You begin to face setbacks, small at first, but they start to accumulate. You miss deadlines, you make mistakes, your confidence in your own abilities starts to waver. But what you fail to see is that every single failure was engineered by them, carefully placed in your path, disguised as coincidence or personal misfortune. They are the reason you overslept before an important meeting, because they kept you awake all night, picking a fight over something meaningless. They are the reason your focus has been shattered, because they have manipulated you into a state of constant stress and self-doubt. They are the reason your boss suddenly seems unsure about your reliability, because they have subtly poisoned your reputation, planting seeds of doubt in conversations you never even knew they had. And then the financial destruction begins. But it does not come as a single event. It is not an obvious theft or an outright demand. It is a slow, methodical draining of your resources. Maybe they convince you to make unwise financial decisions, nudging you toward purchases that will leave you unstable. Maybe they make you second-guess every move, paralyzing you with fear until you hesitate too long and miss an opportunity. Or maybe they create chaos, unexpected expenses, sudden losses, situations that seem like bad luck, but are in reality carefully manipulated circumstances designed to keep you one step away from ruin. And as you start to lose control over your life, they watch. They do not offer comfort. They do not step in to help. Instead, they use your failures as proof that you are incapable, as validation that you are weak, that you are nothing without them. You never listen to me. I told you this would happen. You always mess things up. Every misstep becomes a weapon, every mistake a new reason for them to push you deeper into dependence on them. At this point, you are not just financially drained, you are spiritually and emotionally bankrupt. You begin to believe what they have been telling you all along, that you cannot function on your own, that you will never succeed without them, that every time you try to build something, it will fall apart. And once that belief takes hold, you stop trying. That is what they wanted all along. But they do not stop there. No, the narcissist wants complete destruction. They begin to strip away your sense of self-worth, convincing you that you are not just a failure, you are a burden. They tell you that no one else would ever tolerate you, that you are lucky they have stayed with you this long. They make you feel like you are a waste of space, a drain on the world, a person who brings nothing but problems wherever you go. And the longer you stay in this environment, the deeper that lie seeps into your soul. And then, the most dangerous part begins. When they have taken away your stability, when they have made sure you have nothing left, no job, no financial security, no self-confidence, they begin to convince you that there is no point in trying anymore. They start making offhand comments, things that seem innocent but are actually designed to push you toward despair. I don't know how you keep going. Most people would have given up by now. I wouldn't blame you if you just didn't want to do this anymore. These words are not said with love. They are not spoken with concern. They are planted, like seeds, meant to grow into thoughts you never would have had on your own. And when those thoughts begin to take root, when you start believing the whispers in your mind that tell you, maybe it would be easier if I just disappeared, they have succeeded. They have won. They have led you to the place they wanted you to be all along, broken, lost, hopeless, and ready to give up. Because that was always their goal, not just to hurt you, not just to control you, but to erase you. And the most terrifying part? They will never take responsibility for it. If you fall apart, if you lose everything, if you reach that final breaking point, they will play the role of the victim. They will shake their head and say, I tried to help them, but they just wouldn't listen. They will tell others that they did everything they could, that you were beyond saving. And no one will ever know the truth, that this was their plan from the very beginning, that they wanted this outcome, that they had been slowly dismantling you piece by piece until you had nothing left. This is not just abuse. This is strategic, premeditated destruction. This is a war they have waged against you, one you never even realized you were fighting until it was too late. And if you do not recognize what is happening, if you do not take back control before they strip away the last pieces of who you are, then they will succeed. Because they do not need to kill you to destroy you. They just need to make sure you have nothing left to live for. They hint that you do not belong here anymore. A narcissist will never openly tell you to leave this world. That would be too direct, too obvious. Instead, they plant the thought so subtly, so insidiously, that by the time it fully forms in your mind, it feels like it was your own idea all along. They do not push you to destruction. They simply lead you there step by step, whispering just enough despair into your soul until you lose the will to resist. This is not an accident. This is not a misunderstanding. This is calculated, premeditated psychological murder. And the most terrifying part? No one will ever see it coming. It starts as concern. At least, that is how it seems. I don't know how you deal with everything. I couldn't do it. You've been through so much. Most people wouldn't survive that. If I were in your position, I don't think I'd have the strength to keep going. They drop these statements casually, effortlessly, as if they are simply making an observation. But what they are really doing is planting a question deep inside you. Am I strong enough to keep going? Is this life worth enduring? And once that question takes root, once it starts to grow, they continue to feed it, carefully, methodically, ensuring that hopelessness becomes the only lens through which you see your life. Then they start withdrawing even the small comforts they once gave you. When you are hurting, they do not offer words of encouragement. When you are exhausted, they do not reassure you. Instead, they remind you, life is hard and it's not going to get better. They watch as you struggle, as you sink deeper into despair, and instead of lifting you up, they make it worse. You're always so stressed. You never seem happy anymore. Why does everything seem to go wrong for you? You just don't have the same energy you used to have. It sounds like an observation, but in reality, it is a reminder of how far you have fallen. A reminder that in their eyes, you are already slipping away. And when you start believing that you are no longer yourself, that you are a burden, that life has lost its meaning, they will be there, reinforcing the lie that maybe, just maybe, the world would be better off without you. The most sinister part of this manipulation is how they make you believe that even your suffering is an inconvenience. When you try to express your pain, when you attempt to reach out, they dismiss you. Oh, here we go again, always so dramatic. You're not the only one with problems, you know. No one else complains as much as you do. They want you to feel ashamed of your own emotions, ashamed of your own sadness. They make you believe that even talking about your pain is a burden to others, that no one wants to hear it, that no one truly cares. And so, you stop talking. You stop reaching out. You bury everything inside, and the isolation deepens. And when the loneliness becomes unbearable, when you are drowning in despair, they strike the final blow. They start talking about how everyone reaches a breaking point. They casually mention stories of people who just couldn't take it anymore. They say things like, "Some people just aren't strong enough to handle everything life throws at them. Not everyone is built to endure suffering. It's understandable when someone decides they can't go on anymore. They never say it outright, never tell you to do anything. But they don't have to, because by that point, you are already thinking it. By that point, the weight of their words has already settled into your soul, making you believe that escape is the only option. The most terrifying part? No one else will see it. To the outside world, they will appear supportive, caring, even sad for what you are going through, but behind closed doors, they are watching, waiting, feeding your hopelessness until you finally break. And when that day comes, when you reach the point where you no longer see a way out, they will not grieve, they will not mourn, they will simply shake their head and say, "I saw it coming." They will pretend to be heartbroken, but deep down they will feel nothing but satisfaction, because they got exactly what they wanted, and no one will ever suspect a thing. This is not just manipulation, this is slow, intentional destruction. A narcissist does not need to physically harm you to erase you. They do not need to push you over the edge when they can simply make you walk there yourself. And the moment you start believing that you are unworthy, that you are unloved, that you have no place in this world, they have already won, because now they no longer have to destroy you. You will do it for them, and they will watch it happen, knowing they orchestrated it all. 5. They convince you that the whole world hates you. A narcissist does not need to physically harm you to destroy you. They do not need to shout, threaten, or raise a hand against you. Instead, they wage a silent, calculated war against your mind, convincing you that you are alone, that no one truly cares about you, that the world itself has rejected you. They do not just want to break your spirit. They want to rewrite your reality, until you believe that your existence is nothing but a burden. And once you accept that, once you truly believe that there is no place for you in this world, they know they have won. It starts with small, cutting remarks, delivered as if they are merely telling you the truth. You ever notice how people never invite you anywhere? Your friends only talk to you when they need something. I think people just tolerate you out of pity. These words are spoken casually, without emphasis, but they plant a deep and dangerous seed of doubt. At first, you resist it. You tell yourself it's not true, but then you start paying attention. You begin analyzing every interaction, looking for signs of rejection, questioning every friendship, every relationship. Suddenly, you see betrayal where there was once trust. You hear condescension where there was once kindness. The world around you begins to shift, not because it has changed, but because they have manipulated your perception of it. Then, they take it further. They subtly encourage division between you and the people you love. They twist your words, distort your intentions, and spread misinformation, ensuring that when you finally reach out for help, no one will believe you. They tell others that you are unstable, difficult, dramatic. They play the role of the concerned partner, the loyal friend, the supportive family member, all while carefully constructing an image of you as irrational, unreliable, and broken. By the time you realize what they have done, the damage is already complete. The people you once trusted now look at you with skepticism. The friends you once confided in hesitate before responding to your messages. The family members you once relied on seem distant, unsure of what to believe. And the narcissist? They sit back and watch as you slowly crumble under the weight of isolation they created. But they do not stop there. They go further, comparing you to others, reminding you of your supposed shortcomings. Look at how well so-and-so is doing. Why can't you be more like them? They seem to have everything figured out. What's wrong with you? Every